and welcome to the Comic Conspiracy episode 201 for the week of March 16th, 2015. My name is Ryan Higgins, who is here with me this week.
Brock Sager.
Ryan Higgins. Toby.
And Charlie.
It's two of me. I'm
double trouble.
That's too many.
I'm expanding.
Double trouble.
And not just in my waistline. Hello, everyone. How are you? Bryce, hopefully, is on his way. There's been some illness, so hopefully he can still make it out tonight. If he does, there will be apparently be a cable quiz for episode 201, celebrating the first appearance of Nathaniel Summers, who will later become Cable, one of Bryce's and Charlie's favorite characters. So I'm really hoping he's able to make it out tonight. If not, maybe next week. If not, maybe not for a while. Bryce's wife is due any minute now, so we may be sans Bryce for a while. We'll see what happens. Hopefully he can join us for at least one more episode, though, before he's going to take a parental break. But let's talk about some stuff from this week. We got some questions. We got some news stories to talk about. There's always something fun.
Let's dive right in. Let's do this.
Well, this last week feels like it had been a while before we had, or been a while since we had some controversies, and we definitely had a whole bunch this last week. Let's start on a lighter note. Who saw Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, Flash, and Green Arrow's new costumes?
You mean the street-level superheroes?
Some of them.
I did.
I think I glanced at it, but I didn't get a good look.
And in a way, I'm kind of glad I actually read the last issue of Green Lantern on Sunday now.
Explains a little bit.
Yeah.
So they have Superman is in a very Con-El Superboy outfit, blue jeans, black t-shirt, buzzed hair.
Is it a black t-shirt?
Nope.
What?
Blue.
Yeah, it's a blue t-shirt.
But I saw it was black. Is it blue?
Do you know that dress that everybody's talking about? What colors do you see there when you look at that?
Blue and black, just like everyone that has real eyes should.
Blue and black.
Yes.
Oh, you are actually talking about dress.
Yeah.
No, but the
Is this shirt blue?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, now I'm gonna have to go find this costume. I was just
totally
looking at
blue. It's like the Connor Kent, but instead of black, it's blue.
And if I recall, it's got the black inside the emblem.
It's got the black inside the emblem.
You know what? That's what I was thinking of. It's blue. I was thinking it has like that black background on the cover. Okay, never mind. I'm sorry. Yes, it is blue. Yes, it is blue.
Oh, good.
So well,
and for a fact that dress is blue and black, and so correct. You have the correct brain pattern in your head, I guess.
Wonder Woman has a very covered up costume with kind of
reminiscence of the cartoon version.
Well, I was going to say the first time I saw that image, I thought they were going back towards that like Straczynski look when they first were doing that, and then
pants.
Yeah,
but it really reminds me of the Maggie Q Wonder Woman from the DC Direct movies.
Oh yeah, I could see that. I could see that. And she's got some kind of claw thing going on, kind of like Rip Claw or a bunch of these other Image guys. And Superman don't quite know the deal of why he's in that, why he changed his costume. And Wonder Woman, they've said this is sort of a battle armor she's wearing to fight Donna Troy. Batman is something that we've seen for a while now. We just didn't know exactly what we were looking at, which is this big robot.
I still don't know what I'm looking at.
Mech with giant rabbit ears.
It's Donnie Darko, but a robot.
It's not just. It's also more than likely not Bruce Wayne either. Something big happens to Batman 40, and Batman 41 picks up in a very different place.
So I got a quick question, just because, this is all getting super complicated. So in terms of, we have the World's End, we have the Future's End, we have going into Convergence.
Yep.
Coming out of Convergence, where the fuck are we on the timeline?
So here is my belief, okay? We have 50 books. I think it's 28, 48 books. I think it's 24 and 24. 24 returning books and 24 new books, I believe is the number.
Yeah.
The new books are all new concepts, new takes on old concepts, very different feel.
But like the Beyond book sounds like it takes place after Future's End.
It does, right? Lighter on continuity. Some are going to be a little heavier, but very standalone. No crossovers. Kind of these books are doing their own thing. As far as I know, the other 24 books are still technically just the New 52 books continuing, except, and this is where I was going to go after we talked about the different costumes, at least the first arc, they're doing something kind of different with these characters as well. So they're going to have new ideas and new kind of concepts for the returning characters to sort of, we have the new books that are totally new, but for the returning books, we're also doing something new with them.
Well, the reason I was curious is because in some ways what they've done with Superman in the Future's End book feels very much like the look he has in the Superman kind of redesign.
Right. Well, because he's got the long beard, he's got the shaggy hair, but he's got like a jeans and t-shirt look, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's might carry over in some fashion. I don't, at first, the belief early on was post-Convergence was going to be like the original characters, everything back to kind of pre-New 52 and everything. And a lot of people thought that. We thought that. I mean, we mentioned this. But apparently it's going in actually the complete opposite direction with... And let's be honest, these looks are temporary. These looks are for a story arc.
Most of these looks I can't see being longer than a story arc.
Wonder Woman will be in her Gal Gadot costume by March of next year when Superman Batman's out.
Okay, take Flash, for example. Because right now what's going on in Flash is he's not in what Coast is it Coast City? Or is it I always get the cities confused. He's not on
He's in the Speed Force currently.
Force. So but when he gets back, he's going to have to deal with his future.
But you say Flash?
Yeah, Flash.
Oh, Central City?
Central City.
Okay, sorry.
Coco
City is Green Lantern.
Yeah, I was getting confused. But he's in the Speed Force right now. But when he gets back, he's going to have to deal with his future self.
You mean next issue?
Yeah. Right.
Well, the costume for Flash is more. It looks like a kind of take on the TV costume, so they could stick with that for a while. Green Lantern is basically power. He doesn't have a ring anymore.
Do you want me to just get into what they've done in the comic book?
Well, it's he has Krona's like gauntlets and battery pack, right? And
do you know the reason he has that?
I do not. So spoilers if you don't want to know the reason.
So yes, spoilers. He basically is kind of pulling a end of Dark Knight. The Corps has fallen to such a point that he basically has set it up to label himself a renegade and a traitor again. So all the missteps the Corps has had over the past couple of years can be blamed on him.
Yeah.
And to do that, he basically grabbed Krona's gauntlet and beat up
shit out of
Kilowog. Even though Kilowog knew why he was doing it and stuff, like he kind of cleared it. But he's basically being labeled a traitor, being hunted, and based on the solicitations for this, it sounds like something happens to the Green Lantern Corps where they're not actually around.
Well, there's Lost Army, which is one of the new books coming up.
Yeah.
Which actually sounds really cool.
Yeah.
I'm kind of looking forward to that.
But that's the whole thing with the gauntlet and stuff is he basically needed to drop the ring so he's not viewed as a Green Lantern, but viewed as this intergalactic criminal, which is super weird considering they just brought him back to Justice League.
Yeah, I know. Well, and here we go. Justice League is going to be in its own universe at this point. Justice League is going to be Darkseid War. Everything that happens to Justice League, again, is the continuity of these books are going to be very much alone. They're doing their own thing. The books aren't going to involve big crossovers. When you have something like Endgame that's going on right now, they have these one-shots, the Batgirl Endgame, the Detective Endgame. So that's going to be the main kind of drive forward.
I think that's a good way of doing it.
Yeah, I think so.
It's like, here's what this character was doing at this time.
Well, in Convergence, too, the sort of the plot... the sort of storyline for it is like all stories matter or every story matters. So they could even have some sort of continuity reason at the end of Convergence that says, hey, look, don't worry about when these books all take place in the multiverse. They all take place whenever. It doesn't matter. Like, they're just stories.
Yeah.
We're not going to have this strict continuity set up so much, from issue to issue. So Green Lantern could totally just be normal Green Lantern in Justice League, which that cover is awesome.
Yeah.
And it's Green Lantern front and center with the symbol popping out. He's Green Lantern still. So it's like, it doesn't matter when this takes place.
Yeah.
Like the Justice League of America book that Brian Hitch is doing is completely disassociated from all these other titles as well. So again, that can be cool. I mean, I love the big continuity, but I understand if they want to push some stuff away. I just hope it's not everything. Because we are going to have like Superman, Batman, and Superman, Wonder Woman. They are also having the new costumes, but then Justice League isn't. So, whatever. I mean, hopefully some of these are good. And yes, if you think these last more than a year or two, I don't know what to tell you. You've apparently never read comic books before because these costumes are as permanent as all their other permanent costume changes.
But there will be statues and toys and everything else.
Oh yeah. There definitely will be. But they look cool. I mean, I'm curious. I mean, the Batman one is probably the most intriguing because it's so different.
Yeah. It doesn't even, like, you could show a picture of the way that looks to somebody and they would never guess Batman.
Yeah. I don't know if you saw the cover of Detective Comics either, but it actually is very much focused on the GCPD, which if they're doing that, I approve. I love Gotham Central when they had that book. Yeah. So if they're moving Detective Comics to be a...
Well, that's the thing is like Batman has so many titles out right now within the Bat family. It's like Detective is a good place for kind of the GCPD or even totally. Just, like Arkham Manor, the story that's going on in Arkham Manor. That would have been perfectly fine as a backup in Detective instead of its own book. And if you're reading kind of like this, GCPD thing, and then you get this little backup story about Batman doing detective stuff, it works perfectly for the book.
That's okay. I want a Gotham Central omnibus, and I want it now.
I would love to see him to do that. But remember, you hated the New 52? Well, you waited 4 years, it's gone. You hate this? Wait a couple years, it'll be gone. Find something else to read. There's plenty of good books. But let's talk about the elephant in the room for this last week. Over the weekend, DC Comics announced they're having a line of Joker variants in June, I believe.
For issue 41.
Yeah. And in that month, they're going to have 22 covers of characters, and some of these are like the Harley Quinn and movie variants of them before. They're going to have Joker on the cover. And one book in particular caused quite a bit of controversy over the weekend. This covered a Batgirl 41, cover by Raphael Albuquerque, who is excellent artist.
Yeah, he's the American Vampire.
Yep.
He was doing. He does random stuff here and there.
Yeah, he's worked pretty closely with Scott Snyder on, especially American Vampire. That's sort of been his big book recently. And in this cover, it is Joker in a very much Killing Joke style, the classic Alan Moore.
He's got the suit. He's
Brian
got the
Boland,
striped purple suit with the hat.
With kind of a knife, a gun up to the head,
large kind of was it
like around the neck
Clint
of
Eastwood, gun,
kind of around the neck of Batgirl, and the new kind of costume Batgirl, and she's got a big like Joker kind of makeup smile on her face,
the blood smile going on,
and as probably anyone would in the situation, a little tear running down her eye, because obviously she is scared shitless, especially with her previous run-ins with the Joker, if they've been less than good. This caused quite a bit of controversy, being viewed as some form of abuse or rape or more sexual overtones than anything else. Whether you agree or disagree with those statements, DC has decided, along with the artist, to cancel that cover and not print it, to the dismay of a lot of fans who thought it was a pretty fucking awesome cover.
Well, yeah, because I mean, it was what the hashtag changed the cover from Twitter and Tumblr. People who the fuck do these people even buy comics?
It's tough because in these situations, I understand where both parties are coming from. I personally like the cover a lot. I think it's an awesome cover. Toby, I think you.
I think it's a phenomenal cover.
Yeah,
it's creepy as hell, which is exactly what it's trying to do.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, it's not creepy, for another reason. It's exactly what it's portraying. It's the story of the Killing Joke. It's an homage to it. It's a little mixture of the Heath Ledger Joker in there. I mean, it's just a phenomenal cover. It's just got so many. I mean, a piece of art should evoke emotions, whether it's good or bad. I mean, in this case, it's it's kind of creepy, but that's exactly what it's supposed to do. I mean, I've told Ryan when Ryan showed me this, over chat, and I was like, oh man, this is phenomenal. Just This would have been a cover when I saw it on the shelves. I would have been like, dude, this is really, really cool.
Yeah.
And I think it's a damn shame that so many people took it personal. And I'm sorry if you do. I mean, you have your right to be, have your opinion. But, it's too bad that it came to the point where the artist decided to take this down.
I mean, so the point of view from DC and Cameron Stewart, the writer on Batgirl, and Albuquerque, the artist, was this cover, even though a variant cover, is not indicative of the interior material and not appropriate for the audience that they are pursuing. Whether they have that audience or not is another.
Fair enough. No, I understand that.
Sure.
Point. Now, on the other hand, you got the Justice League, stripper cover. I mean, how many people see Superman, Batman stripping in that book? I'd be really disappointed if I open that book up.
These are all valid points, and I agree. It's
and it's not like they haven't done numerous homage covers to Killing Joke over the years.
No, but
there was a Darkwing Duck cover that was an homage to the Killing Joke. Okay, and if you want to say that's offensive, I may not totally disagree, because at least that's, in theory, totally aimed at kids. Batgirl, let's be honest. Okay, I sell 0 copies. Okay, I sell less copies of Batgirl than I did when Gail Simone was writing it. That is against the industry standard, as sales have gone up. However, we sell 0 copies of Batgirl to teenagers or teenage girls. This is a purely 21 and up book, regardless. I'm not saying the content is, but the people that buy this book are nearly entirely adults. Whether that's offensive is subject to your own interpretation of the cover. There have been many offensive things that are awesome. It's bad guys do bad things, right?
Yeah.
It sucks that DC wants to cancel it. It sucks that Albuquerque...
Well, what really sucks for DC is, I think sales of this cover would have spiked the sales for Batgirl overall.
Yeah, probably.
Because, I mean...
Well, I think at this point it's not about the money at all anymore.
Issue.
For that issue, but I'm just saying, it kind of sucks because, I mean, we're all sitting at this table going, well, I'd buy that. That cover's cool. I'll buy it.
I got 3 calls asking if we were going to get it, and I was like, no, they're not even... It's not, pulped. It's not ever going to be printed, so...
I don't know. The way I look at this is people are reacting more to the content in the Killing Joke than the cover itself.
I saw more than one comment. Now, whether they were just being snarky or not, I don't know. But on Dan Dio's Facebook page, a couple tweets online, people saying, and now we need to get the Killing Joke out of print.
Well, this is, something I mentioned to you. Is do these people that, complain about this cover, do they, not want this book in print? I mean, do they know it exists? I mean, what's going on here?
Apparently some do. Now, again, I don't know if they're just being snarky and they're just making fun of the whole situation, but I saw multiple people...
I find it unbelievable. On all my artist friends' pages, they're all arguing. Not them, but people that are commenting on it. They're all arguing about it. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Dustin even said that, in his little Gotham book at a convention at one of the, with the Q&As, one guy actually asked him, I'm like, why do you have Barbara in that god-awful chair? I was like, dude, what the hell? Yeah. I mean, that's what made her special. It's even though she has a god-awful chair, that she became such a strong character. This guy obviously doesn't even see the point. But... people see what they want to see, I guess, know?
Yeah. It is a tough situation because no one wants to offend people that have been sexually abused or rape victims or anything like that. Totally understand where they're coming from. I think there's a general misreading of this cover.
Yeah.
I think in general, any kind of cover that harkens to the Killing Joke would get the same kind of reaction. Especially on a Batgirl book. On a Batgirl book.
Birds of Prey has had some...
They had the issue 120-something where Joker's literally crying, smiling, doing his little bang with the gun to a small boy's head.
There's been other killing... This is way less offensive than anything that happened with killing with Joker and Barbara during the Death of the Family crossover. That was in fucking
the book, yes.
And that was pretty intense. There's the cover of Batgirl where she's cut open on the cover and bleeding. My concern here is always this. I'm fine with DC. They want to end it. They don't want to publish the cover up. That's totally fine. Their artist doesn't want to publish it. Totally fine. And it's done. Whatever, right? But, I asked on Twitter and I did not get a reply from anyone. I had many people asking me if I knew an answer to this question, and I did not. I've yet to find a cover, especially from the big two, with specifically male characters on the cover that has been pulled back or not released. It feels like it is, the Spider-Woman cover, she was very much covered up. It did come out, but it was not the image that was solicited. It was very different. You had the Catwoman cover by what's his face?
I'm blank.
Wow.
Yeah. You know what I'm talking about. The Catwoman number 0 cover that was
it covered up a little more.
Greatly altered and covered up. And so it feels like, I don't want to say they're wrong to have these opinions. I think it's unfortunate that it feels like it always has to come down to some sort of, mission to
What I think is funny is the amount of exposure that this cover is.
Way more than it would have if it just came out.
If it just came out, it would have been under the radar, nothing. But because
guess what our image for this episode is going to be?
Yes,
like more people have seen this cover than ever would have seen it if it was published as just a variant. It's the exact same as the Spider-Woman cover.
Yeah,
it's
so whatever.
I personally just think it's a shame, just because the emotion that cover. I love covers. I mean, I collect movie posters. I collect all kinds of image kind of things, and that cover tells a story just by the cover alone. I always love that kind of covers. I collect movie posters because of that alone. I buy. Charlie knows. You know, Ryan. I buy covers just because of the cover. It either looks nice, or I like it when there's a story telling element in it, and that just had it right.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
It's.
Especially for fans of Killing Joke.
Yeah,
right? I mean,
and that's a huge. I mean, I'm a huge Barbara fan. I'm a huge Killing Joke fan. I'm a huge Birds of Prey fan. I would have loved that cover.
Well, the thing is, I mean, they're looking at such a negative angle, and the thing is that was a pinnacle moment, not only for that was a pinnacle moment in kind of where Joker was going to go from that time forward in comics.
Yeah,
but also, I mean, where Barbara was going to go in comics.
The thing is too. It's not the violence, it's the implied sexual violence is what the problem is. And again, that's the key takeaway word, implied.
But
it's...
Go ahead,
would it have been more? Would it have been more if it was a knife instead of a gun?
That has nothing to do with that. I guarantee you, the problem would have been the same. If it was
most of this kind of comes down to the sad part is my gut feeling is the amount of people complaining about this because they know of the content in The Killing Joke most likely never read The Killing Joke.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that they don't have the right to be sensitive over the subject matter, because everybody has the right to be sensitive over whatever subject matter they want. But I do feel like there's a certain amount of intent in there, especially if you talk to like Alan Moore and that kind of stuff, where I could understand a certain level of sensitivity to those two characters being together. But as you said, it's come up time and time again. It does feel a bit overkill to... You've had a lot of moments between Barbara and the Joker that propelled her to a stronger character since The Killing Joke.
Yeah, absolutely.
And everybody kind of forgets about that. They kind of focus just on the content within The Killing Joke, not everything that happens afterwards.
On those Suicide Squad covers.
Right. And I would argue that Batgirl was a very boring, one-dimensional character pre-Killing Joke.
Well, yeah, she didn't even have her own series. The first time Barbara Gordon gets a series as Batgirl is in New 52.
Yeah.
So I guess the takeaway I take of this is if the idea of The Killing Joke offends you, read the stuff that came out after it. It's all about empowering that character. It's all about where she went from there.
Well, I mean, that's the core of superheroes, right? It's like you get to a certain point and then there's... you get to a low or you get to the certain point where you're just like, no, enough is enough, and something good comes out of it.
Yeah.
Right?
I have to give the artists in DC props for even having the gun suit. Like, you know what? It offended too many people. We're just gonna take it away and let's just put it away.
But here's the thing, all right? It's just another notch on this. Oh, look, DC. Center of every controversy, can't do anything right, always a problem, this will go down. There are people, and this is actually a perfect example, there are still people that won't read DC because of Identity Crisis.
Why?
Because of Dr. Light. where he rapes Sue Dibney.
Yeah.
And people are... Now, here's the thing that always drives me crazy. You cannot like that scene. You could be offended by that scene. But realize two things. One, it's fiction. Two, it's a villain. What are villains supposed to do if not be villainous?
Yeah.
I think one of the most... And I said this on Twitter, and I got some replies to it. I think one of the most offensive things I've ever read in a comic book is when Dr. Doom cried during 9/11. A great reply from one of my guys' Twitter is, yeah, he was crying because he should have thought of it first. Right? Yeah. That is...
We're horrible.
They're bad...
We're going to get our batch of hate mail.
They're bad guys. They are villains. The Joker shooting Barbara Gordon and maybe taking some naked pictures of her is one of the least violent things the Joker has ever done.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's a... I can't get behind this idea that fictional villains have to still somehow live up to some moral code.
No.
And you can read books.
Well, a story is a story, though. I mean, do they watch television?
You can read...
Do they watch CSI? Look at all the shit happens on there.
Right, exactly. You can read that stuff and enjoy it and like it without agreeing with the motivation or actions of the characters.
Okay, so this is the funny... So, last week's episode, you haven't watched yet, of Walking Dead. Domestic abuse comes up again.
Of course it
so
does.
Why? So is the internet ablaze? Like, oh my God, Walking Dead is doing this with domestic... It's like, really?
Might be, I don't know.
Or Game of Thrones has shit like that all the time where it's like, the whole thing with...
Game of Thrones is a funny situation where there are people very offended by Game of Thrones, but they generally are drowned out by people who are like, no, this is the step above. I think comic books,
well,
Game
of Thrones was on HBO, a paid cable service. It's a little different tier. Yeah. If Game of Thrones was on ABC at 7 o'clock, I guarantee you we're going to have a problem.
But think of it this way, too. People's opinion that the Batgirl cover is offensive because of the target audience of the book. The target audience of the variant is not their target audience.
Yeah,
and the target audience of the comic is also not the people that are buying the comic.
Yeah, but I kind of, for some reason, I understand that statement.
I totally do. I totally understand.
Yeah.
And I understand why they canceled it. It's unfortunate, but I mean, I understand it. I'm not angry at DC for doing it. I'm disappointed that things like this get pushed to the forefront and become issues when I don't feel
this
they
is
should
news
be.
that we've been talking about for like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Should have just been an awesome cover we talked about when it came out.
Yeah.
So.
And fuck all the bootleggers at this point.
Oh, I
hate that shit.
That picture is going to be everywhere.
Yeah.
People are going to be selling shirts of that at Comic-Con.
Yeah. There's already bootleggers on Facebook. They're like, I'm selling prints of this. They redrawn it. I mean, they're saying, oh, I redrew it. This is based on the art of... Fuck you. Seriously, fuck you. Get away.
No,
leave it be.
That's going to be everywhere. Yeah, that's going to be everywhere. Well, we may have been a little... we were pretty on the money last week. I think, was it last week? 2 weeks ago?
Uh-huh.
We were talking about Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, and Defenders.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Officially branded as Marvel Knights.
Excellent.
Nice.
That's what it should be.
Yep.
Again, I feel like they should go into the more mature way, and rebranding it as a Marvel Knights series kind of makes perfect sense.
I hate to kind of maybe somewhat link this back to the conversation we were just having, but Jessica Jones, also known for a very controversial scene in the first issue of her comic book, do they do that in the show as Jessica Jones as part of the greater Marvel universe? How far do they take these shows? That's the question.
Yeah. What are you trying to avoid?
I have a feeling the Torchwood Doctor Who thing is in effect here. How Doctor would not be on Torchwood, but Torchwood could
bringing
be.
This up because of David Tennant, aren't you?
No. I'm totally bringing this up because of this level because. Yeah. While Daredevil and the Marvel Knights series could mention the Iron Mans and the Captain Americas, I have a feeling that in Retrograde they will not be in the movies. They will not, it's connected one way but not the other way.
Yeah, no, I think you're probably dead on. I think that's exactly what's going to happen. And
I don't think they will go as far as Torchwood did in terms of this is the adult show, this is the teenager show, this is the kid show.
Yeah.
Because they had a very good dynamic there with the Doctor Who stuff at the time. I think anything that they put the Marvel imprint on, regardless of if it's the Netflix Marvel Knives, regardless of
ABC TV show or movie.
Yeah, I think the general gist of it will be they still want to target a wider audience.
Well, if you think about not only the sex scene in the first issue of Alias, the first issue of the Jessica Jones comic,
that was consensual, right? I haven't read it.
Yeah. But what was not consensual was when she was placed under the control of the Purple Man, who on the TV show is going to be played by David Tennant.
Yep.
And the Purple Man's powers is he basically can mind control people, and they get kind of stuck to him and do his bidding and everything like that.
How long was she his slave?
Like
in
a
the
year
comics?
or something
like
like
that. It was a long time.
Yeah. So this is sort of like the backstory when she was Jewel, like this kind of this character that existed.
She was an up-and-coming
the fake
hero.
Spider-Woman.
Yeah.
She was an up-and-coming hero who went after the Purple Man, not realizing his powers or what his powers do, and got enslaved by him for a year. And then he got frustrated one day and basically got told, go beat up the Avengers for me. And the Avengers
beat the hell
put
out
her
of
in the hospital.
Yeah. But again, now we are coming back to possibly some implied sexual abuse, definitely physical violence. Are these subject matters going to be brought up on the show? Again, linking it to the greater Marvel universe.
And again, I cannot see them having part of the show. So I got beat up by Thor and Iron Man and Captain America when I was mind controlled by...
Yeah, and that's the question, right? How far are they going to take this? So we maybe not be out of the woodworks yet of controversies for this year, depending on how
back in the Alias book was the Max book, which was their Vertigo imprint.
But that book people were not that first issue. People got offended by it. But again,
and the other thing that I just have to point out is the timing of the Alias book with the Alias TV show and the look of the covers and everything. That's first glance, I swear that book looks like it's based on the TV show at the time. Literally first glance.
Yeah.
And it wasn't... It was a couple of years before I realized this has nothing to do with the TV show.
No.
While we're on this, though, the Daredevil trailer, I didn't say this last week. I love the fact that it's Kingpin in the beginning saying heroic things about his city. And then he got Matt Murdock saying kind of villainous things, what he has to do in order to do the things he has to do. I thought that was a brilliant touch on that, the dynamics of the two.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how that show. That's soon, April 10th?
April 10th.
Yeah, very soon.
Sorry to go back to it, but so there was no controversy over the movie cover for Batgirl this month?
That is funny. The movie cover for Batgirl this month is Purple Rain, based off the Prince. And if you're familiar with Prince and his lyrics, very extreme sexual.
So that was aimed at their viewers or their readers, right?
Apparently. So, yeah, Batgirl, maybe more controversy as we go on here, but who knows. Well, let's talk about a few other things.
Do you have any questions or any other good news?
We do.
Ooh, people to think.
We do. We'll do that soon. A bunch of comics sold a whole bunch of copies this month, but a very surprising number one until you find out the reason why.
No, it's not surprising at all, because if you watch a TV show, this is the number one show to watch besides Game of Thrones and maybe The Walking Dead.
What the comic was, I was surprised. So yes.
Screw you all.
I'm being serious here.
I usually take your side because of the subject matter. At this point, I will not, because I will fight for the Orphan Black.
Star Wars number one, understandably the number one comic when it came out of Darth Vader and all that. But can you even tell me the last time a licensed comic was the number one comic of the month?
Yes, DreamWorks Transformers.
I was about to say Transformers, maybe Thundercats.
You picked the wrong guy to
No.
play this one.
No, that's where I was going for. Thundercats was shortly after, and that definitely was number one as well when it came out. That was huge.
That barely lasted, though.
No, Thundercats died really quick with the DreamWorks Transformers. And now we have a new one, and that is IDW's Orphan Black. So besides having 25,000 different covers, the main reason it's number one
you didn't get the covers I needed. No. Damn you, Ryan. Damn you.
The main reason it's number one is because of our good friends over at Loot Crate. Mm-hmm. Loot Crate. And now we now entered the age of the asterisks, because these Loot Crate covers, I guess we're going to get asterisks from now on, because it's It's not a it's not a traditional comic.
It's not a good representation of.
That's fine. They should to all the Loot Crate books except for Orphan Black.
Well, Orphan Black, I think, was the first to actually get the asterisk.
Fucking A.
Yeah.
No, I mean, to be honest with you, in all reality or seriousness, they should do that. I mean, they should do that too. I don't know. Do the promo books count? Like when we do Free Comic Book Day, do those count? Like if it's the same issue, do they count towards the total?
No, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the number one ordered comic, non-Free Comic Day, to this date is the Batman 10-cent adventure.
Oh yeah.
I think that may still be the number one because they actually did count that.
Yeah, I mean, that is a paid book,
right?
Even though it's 10 cents. It's still
Free Comic Day books are we pay for those as well, but no, those are not on the traditional charts. But again, all those kind of have like in that Fantastic Four 9-cent issue and stuff that they did. Those all kind of have like asterisks of like, well, yeah, but it's not really a normal book. And the Loot Crate things kind of fall under the same because, well, distributed through Diamond.
Well, so where does that put Star Wars #1? Even though that was probably a really good selling book, that was still part of Loot Crate too.
Even without it, it's still the best-selling comic in 20 years. Loot Crate added 300,000 copies, but it sold over 1 million. It still would have beat out anything else.
Well, you know, if you guys watched Orphan Black, I bet you all of you will buy the book too. Not really, but yes, go.
I was about to say, I already proved you wrong on that one.
Shut up.
Well, my curiosity is
I hate
this.
you all.
Because of the different covers and the marketing they had, I mean, I'm sure Orphan Black did really well, but Loot Crate alone, I mean, it sold 500,000 copies. Loot Crate alone has to be at a minimum of 400,000 of those. So first of all, holy shit, Loot Crate has 400,000 subscribers.
Oh yeah, they've been.
Oh yeah, it's been growing. It's been growing big. But besides that, I don't think Loot Crate actually moves units past the issue. It's not people buy them.
They think they do. They do put up some of the items that they have excess of.
No.
Like
I mean,
afterwards.
Nobody that got the Loot Crate for Orphan Black #1 is going to buy #2. That's what I mean. There's not. I don't think
you
Loot
have
Crate.
To at least give them like 0.001%.
Maybe a couple hundred people.
I will only kill you guys in your sleep later tonight.
I'm not saying it has anything to do with.
Trying to say
I know the code to your house, Ryan. You might want to change it.
No. What I'm saying is when they did it with Rocket Raccoon, when they did it with Batman, when they did it with all these other books, it has not changed the numbers sales-wise, industry-wise, past that.
Yeah.
So
I see that.
That's what I'm saying.
I just hope for a really, really cool cover.
That would be weird, but they should just start sending those out with like a digital code to be redeemed.
Maybe.
Instead of
You're
the
just
actual
sad that
physical.
they're getting rid of the digital codes.
Oh, I'm. In a weird way, I'm sad, and I'm not sad because yes, there's certain books where I'm like, damn it, and then there's other books where I'm like, well, you know what? Now I won't be buying that book.
You know, while we're on Loot Crate, the first time I did it, I was really, really disappointed with it. And the last couple times, there's some cool stuff in there that were kind of thought out for nerdier people, I thought.
Yeah.
They had like this comic book that's a sketch comic book that's like just panels, and you can make your little own comic book. And I thought that was kind of cool.
That's cool.
Yeah. But yeah, they have little things I always thought was kind of nice.
Charlie, we did talk last week about no more.
Yep.
No more Charlie?
No more combo packs for Charlie, so he doesn't get his digital comics anymore.
Yeah. It's a good thing because I had the Rage Monster.
I still get them in Silver Surfer.
Yeah.
For now.
Yeah. Toby. Oh, wait, actually, let's do Charlie. You watched the Powers pilot that was on
the PlayStation.
PSN, PlayStation Network. What do you think?
With Howling Mad
I guess
Murdoch.
there's 4 episodes out already?
That's what it looked like today. I swear when I looked at it last night, there were only 3, and now there's 4.
Yeah, I have heard nothing about this. I didn't even know it was out, and people are like...
Well, you don't know a lot of things, Ryan Higgins.
That is true.
I feel like the production value on it is much lower than I expected.
It looks like shit. I'm sorry, but it looks bad.
Much lower than I expected.
But you got Howling Mad Murdoch.
But that being
like that
said...
Knight Rider from...
Shut up!
I did kind of feel like it started to get better as the episode went on. Like, I am curious to see where they go from here.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't know. I'll watch it if there's time, but that's about it. It didn't, knock my socks off, and as soon as Daredevil comes on, I'll have a lot of other stuff to watch.
Yeah. The cast looks... just random. The sets and the shots that I saw a trailer, and I was like... I mean, this looks like some
Let's be honest. I didn't think Charlita was going to play the main character either. To be honest with you,
was that
when they cast Charlita Copley as the main character? I was like, really?
Yeah.
I don't know who
Honestly,
anyone who I don't know anyone.
Howie Matt Murdock from the A-Team.
Okay,
District 9.
Oh, okay.
No, any of it.
Yeah.
No, to me,
I thought you said Matt Murdock.
I find it.
Howling Matt Murdock.
Yeah.
Mad.
Yes,
Crazy.
yes.
A-Team.
I was actually a little more excited about the fact that it has Eddie Izzard in it, but that's just me.
Howling
But
Matt Murdock.
but no, I was watching it with my wife last night, and comparing it to feeling like it was a fan produced thing is exactly what it felt like.
Yeah.
It just felt like, and it's weird because in a day and age when you have stuff like House of Cards and all this stuff coming out with direct content, which feels almost like it's got a better production budget than television. This is a weird step.
But
the other
Netflix,
way.
Yeah, but Netflix made some money, and they took a couple of years before they did original shows. This is kind of like PlayStation trying to jumpstart their little network.
Oh, and I'm not saying that it isn't. I mean, you look at a lot of what the Microsoft started with, like the Guild and that kind of stuff.
Don't the Microsoft have also the Halo stuff? Halo shorts? Or
I don't know. I didn't watch those. I
Okay.
watched the Guild, but the Guild is kind of meant, like the nature of the Guild is to feel low budget.
but that didn't start with that. That didn't start with Microsoft.
yeah, didn't it?
Didn't
No,
Well,
that
I
was
thought it was on YouTube as a YouTube thing.
No, that was its own thing.
Yeah.
when did it jump to Microsoft?
Felicia Day?
Because it started being like a Microsoft first thing.
I don't know. I never watched it. So yeah, you talking the Felicia Day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean she did that for years. I think prior to jumping over. Yeah, I mean Powers.
That's like Knights of the Round Table, right?
Did they maybe get...
Next to the dinner table.
Knights of the dinner table. Yeah.
Not too dissimilar. Like an MMO.
Do you think for all these years that we're trying to make this Power show that they finally got so desperate going, you know what, whoever wants to make it, go ahead and make it.
Yeah.
And Sony goes, no, yeah, I guess we'll do.
Totally.
Superheroes are in right now. We'll do this.
Well, they shot. This was the third pilot. They shot two
they shoot
before.
other ones? Wow, didn't know that.
That didn't get
From
picked
what
up.
you're telling me how bad it was, it sound like the Power Ranger short with what's his name in it.
How do you make that connection, Brock?
That was shot
How do
like
you-
a lot better.
Powers.
How do you
Power
make
Rangers.
the connection from Powers to Power Rangers, except
Power.
for the power word?
I think he's just saying a fan film with quality.
Well,
Yeah,
that's the
but
thing, is, like, the
dude,
James Vanderbeek one was, like,
that's not even an argument. No, Brock, that's not even an argument. That got produced by a movie producer, filmed by a well-known music video director that did I don't even know how many Taylor Swift videos at this point that were all high production values. That's not even a comparison. These dudes,
And it's also 5 minutes long.
yeah,
or
and then
whatever.
yeah, it's not the same.
It's-
But wouldn't you get professionals to work on it?
well, I think,
mean there's a money thing, right? There's a doing
Sony-
a 5-minute short is completely different than doing a complete show.
Sony also has not.
Okay, so seasons 2 through 5 of the Guild premiered on Microsoft.
Oh, okay. Oh, I thought they did more off it. So.
No, it was
Well,
season 1 off it, then 2 through 5 on it, and then I guess Microsoft changed their model, and
Okay.
Felicia Day says, "Screw this, I'm going back to YouTube."
Okay. Well, besides the production quality on some of them, where is I going with this? Sony also is not flush with cash these days. I mean, I know the PlayStation is doing really well, but Sony themselves are not. So this may be them like, take what little cash we have, let's put it towards something and try to push the
Well, it's
Well,
a good
it's all
effort.
about pushing the PlayStation Plus.
right.
I mean, that's all
That's-
they're trying to do.
Well, I think that's the problem I have with it. I mean, it's a little a niche, very, very, very niche market. You're talking
Yeah.
about people that want to see a independent comic book show, and then only people that own PlayStations, right? I mean, they have to own a PlayStation to actually watch it, right?
And have PlayStation
and the
Plus.
PlayStation membership.
Well,
Yeah.
Is
I
there a
think
way to get the
technically
membership?
You could do it without having a PlayStation.
Yeah, I mean, can you get the membership and watch it online?
Maybe.
So,
Maybe. I don't know.
according to their website, you can watch it on your computer. For the life of me, I could not figure out how to do this earlier when my kids were using it because I figured, you know, it would be good to be able to talk about more than the pilot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Wow. Either
Well,
way,
it's surprising. Like with the,
Even though the pilot is available for free online and stuff of Powers,
Like where?
like on YouTube. And
Oh, really?
All that.
They published it?
Yeah, they did the whole let's put out the pilot for free, and hopefully that will stir enough interest to increase
I
subscriptions.
mean, you got to give them for credit for trying. I mean,
Sure.
whether their budget or their filmmaking habits are not as good, but
I don't know. I think there's a lot of shows that, unfortunately, the pilot is not the best representation of the show.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of hoping this will be one of those things where they made a very low-budget pilot, got picked up for more, and then went from there.
Cool.
Yeah.
But the filming of it was weird.
Yeah, I have not heard anything. I've not heard a single person be like, no, it's really good, you should watch it. It's been like, it's okay, it's there, it exists. I'll keep watching it, but...
Too bad.
We have the return of Flash and Arrow and the premiere of...
tonight?
Yeah, tonight, as we record.
Damn it, let's get out of here.
Yeah.
I can watch it right now.
Next week, we'll have some thoughts on that, as well as the premiere of iZombie. Yeah. So definitely go check those out. This episode should be up.
Are any of you excited for iZombie?
I'm really excited for iZombie. I think it looks great.
As
someone who's never seen, Veronica Mars, I think
you really
this looks
need
great.
to see that show.
Yeah.
Veronica is one of my favorite shows of all time. Next to The Wire, which makes a lot of sense, I know.
No, for me, it's just one of those things where limited TV watching time and all that. Now, mind you, there is a fairly good chance that when I'm here on a Sunday, I will find time to put on the pilot.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited. It looks funny, so well, we'll see. But I know they had some sizzle reels for Flash and Arrow. I'm trying to remain fairly spoiler-free, but Toby, you like those? Do you want to talk about that for a second?
I'm trying to remember now. It's been a busy day at work. I'm sorry. No, I really like them. I think they look darker. The Flash, they even do some play on it where Felicity is like, wait, this is supposed to be the fun city, and some darker stuff happens, which I think is really cool. Support. I mean, even the commercials on the radio while I was driving here for iZombie, they followed it a bit like, oh, it's after the Flash, which will have a historic end. I'm like, damn, man, I really want to see this Flash episode.
I've been trying to stay off Twitter because I don't want to see that.
I mean, the trailer, I mean, it showed you more stuff for the upcoming episodes. They showed the same stuff, though, for the tonight's episode, which... I
think I saw a tweet from John's just before we recorded. Hopefully you guys enjoy 2 hours of TV tonight.
Yeah.
And, the Arrow looks... we get more. That's cool.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I don't want to say more.
We get the pits, don't we, Charlie? That's what Charlie's happy about.
Didn't Steve Amell in an interview admit that the Lazarus pits exist now?
Yeah, but I could have sworn there was also an interview where he mentioned that they were already introduced. I'm like, when?
Roz was sitting in one in like the last episode.
It could be just like the bathhouse in Vikings, where it's just super nasty and they all just bathe in it.
They didn't focus on it, but they're going to focus on it. And
I don't know. I guess one of my thing about the Lazarus Pit is I kind of like the don't use it unless you're at death's door kind of aspect of them.
I hope they use it and bring back the original Black Canary.
They might. Well, they had your other
Schofield brothers,
jail escape guy.
The Schofield brothers.
Yeah, what's his face?
Yeah, the Dominic Purcell, Heatwave. He's gonna join. He's gonna join the cast of the unnamed group show, team up show, whatever it's gonna be.
Keep calling it the Brave and the Bold.
Yeah, so we have both Captain Cold and Heatwave apparently spinning out after two episodes or three episodes.
I really, really like Wentworth Miller as Captain Cold.
They're perfect.
I really, really like it.
They're doing a great job.
Yeah. So now all you guys have to go see the prequel called Prison Break, seasons 1 and 2, especially.
What did I say? Jail Escape?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, no, Prison Break.
Do not watch seasons 3 and onwards. I recommend you just stop after season 2.
All right.
Most people say just season 1.
Well, we got a couple questions here. This one's from Mitchell Brooks.
Hey, Mitch. Mitchell. Can you see? Were you able to see this podcast? He had LASIK.
Well, he typed, so. Although he did use a U instead of
How
Y-O-U.
would you see the podcast?
So maybe he can't see.
Because when he goes on his phone, he had LASIK. He's having difficulty seeing things.
He says in Future Imperfect, being the Hulk Future Imperfect miniseries, they have a bad guy, Maestro, as bad guy. I've never heard of this version of the Hulk. Can you fill me in? Yes. He's an evil, insane, bad version of the Hulk from the future.
Yeah.
Who's currently in the Spider-Man 2099 book.
Yeah, who causes all sorts of fucking havoc.
Is he the guy that owns that layer of like bunch of memorabilia?
Yeah. So he has like a little house filled with like,
which is every nerd guy's dream to have that house, that room.
Captain America's shield, Wolverine's.
You don't know how many
Spider-Man's
people.
mask.
Spider-Man's mask and web.
So many people in the store. I'm like, you know what I really want in life? I'm like, what is that? And they pull up that page. Like, that's what I want in real life.
Jim is trying to be that.
I think Jim has already.
I think he's pretty. Yeah, he's pretty much there already.
Our good friend Jim has been in the last couple episodes. That's one of his favorite characters, and it's like, yep, I know why.
To get that picture from the Future Imperfect, and then superimpose Jim's head on Maestro's body there, and just be done.
Dude, Jim is pretty close. He's got a skeleton that he's painting silver right now to make a Wolverine skeleton with the blades that he's going to put in a tube and fill it up with who knows what.
Nice. Yeah. The pathologist on Twitter. He's got a question. He says, I've already asked, or he said, maybe I already asked, but what news sites do you prefer to read for comics news that isn't filled with BS? Most of them are filled with a lot of
Supposedly, I read the wrong ones because whenever I link Ryan, he goes, do not look at this bullshit.
There's a couple sites that I avoid like the plague.
Well, why don't we give them the sites to avoid?
No, I'll give you the sites to go to.
Oh.
There you go. Be positive.
Comic book resources.
So I'm just going to say Ryan's Twitter feed.
Well, there's no, I don't post a lot of news stuff.
Post a lot of nude stuff, do you?
Maybe. Comic book resources
Magic
it can be a lot of just press releases, but honestly, it's very PR friendly mostly. They're not going to post every insane rumor. They post enough. They post it if it makes sense. Like, I think comic book resources is like the best when you just drill down to what's actually news and the best kind of, and just more just PR from the companies. I have no problem with PR in comics being news because it is. Because there's not generally comic news the way there is news in the real world. Because it's all a very controlled, corporate industry.
Well, I mean, all this stuff is already technically taking place. It's just now coming out to the...
Well, right. So it's rare that, when there's rumors and stuff, a lot of it's bullshit. But if speaking of rumors, Bleeding Cool is always the one that I go to. People hate him. People hate Rich Johnson, but I think he's great.
You like him just because he reposts
Wait, you like Bleeding Cool?
I do. I like Bleeding Cool a lot.
What the hell? There's no winning with you.
Bleeding Cool... No, those are the two extremes, though. Bleeding Cool and Comic Resources. Bleeding Cool,
that's where I go, and last couple of times I'm like, don't look at that trash.
No, I'm not Bleeding Cool. No,
because I used to be a big Newsarama guy, and after Newsarama got bought, you were like, Bleeding Cool is the place to be, so naturally I follow Ryan Higgins' lead. I don't know why, because usually I have my own opinion about a lot of things, but in this case I followed his lead and went to Bleeding Cool, and then the last couple of times he dissed me about linking you Bleeding Cool articles, and you said it's fucking trash.
Hold on. Okay, I think you misunderstood. Don't read any Bleeding Cool article that's not actually by Rich Johnson.
All the other asterisks. You didn't tell me about the asterisks.
All the other people that work there are the fucking worst. He does all the main articles and all the real news stories. There's all these kind of opinion pieces and fluff pieces that other people post, and they are terrible.
Okay.
Sorry, yes.
Yeah.
The main article is by him because he breaks a lot of rumors and stuff, and so if there's going to be something real, use that.
Yeah, Rich Johnson is a... People
hate
that
him.
Name and hate him.
People hate him, and I totally understand. But the
hilarious thing is, just like a lot of talent that we have in the comic book industry, he's from England.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess the feeling I have with a lot of the rumors and that kind of stuff is I kind of have gotten the impression some stuff gets sent to Bleeding Cool to see people's reactions.
Oh, absolutely.
Like,
because they know.
A lot of the kind of like, we're going to kill Jon Stewart. What do people...
Yeah. And actually, my number 3, Toby, now is Newsarama. Newsarama has actually gotten better.
Oh, okay.
They got unsold.
What?
They're their own company again.
Really?
Yeah, and they have gotten. They're not nearly as good as they used to be. But
I loved them back in the day.
They have gotten better.
Okay.
They do a lot of top lists and blah blah blah, but they've actually done some decent news stories. I mean, I didn't go to Newsarama for 2 years maybe. It was awful, like complete nonsense. Like nothing had to do with comics anymore. It got bought by some weird, like a science company or something weird. But no, they have legitimately gotten better. So
cool.
Those are the 3 to check out. I mean, I avoid a lot of the blogs. I mean, there's some I used to read, but
we have a 4th though. No,
what's the 4th?
Comics in Decline by Omar Broderick.
not quite comic news. If you want to see Omar with his shirt off a lot, go there.
Yeah. No, for that is Twitter. What's that? Instagram.
Yeah.
Good enough.
This is from Joshua on Twitter. He asks, favorite stupid crossover? We were just talking about tons of stupid crossovers the other week after we recorded. Operation Galactic Storm.
Oh yeah,
that's a crossover.
Avengers. Yeah,
I thought we were going to bring that stuff up again.
That went through Wonder Man and Quasar and Avengers.
Fantastic Four?
No, I don't think it went through Fantastic Four. Operation Galactic Storm.
A lot of stuff.
Yeah, it was a big Avengers crossover. I love that.
Lobo the Duck. It will always be Lobo the Duck for me.
That works.
The amalgam stuff. Yeah.
Well, specifically Lobo the Duck.
Well, and Marvel vs. DC. Sorry, JLA Avengers was actually good. Yeah. Marvel vs. DC was terrible, but it was fun. They're stupid. But it's fun.
I remember the best thing about the Marvel vs. DC was all the send in your votes for who's going to win this, and then of course coming out of it, you had a lot of just why did I buy this comics? But then you had certain ones like Lobo the Duck, where I literally showed that book to anybody who I thought would find it as amusing as I did.
Toby is thinking.
This is a bad place for me because I actually really love crossovers before they became a thing.
Atlantis attacks?
This is so tough. I mean, I love Marvel versus DC, even though I didn't really like the Almanac stuff afterwards. I really like the Spider-Man Batman crossover, which I barely remember right now, but I do. I love the Superman Spider-Man crossover.
The old one.
Oh, it's fantastic. I loved it.
Batman.
I really like that.
Shoot. He may just be talking like crossover,
there's another one. Hold on. There's a Death Blow Batman by I can't remember.
That's Lee Bermejo, right? And
Azzarello. So good.
Yeah.
Darn. So many.
JLA was pretty good.
What's that?
Planetary JLA.
Yeah. Well, JLA Avengers is awesome. I love JLA Avengers.
There's so many. I'm a sucker for crossovers until they kind of overbled it and did too much of it. So. Well, also the countless Daredevil, Spider-Man team-ups back in the day. I'm talking about 80s and early 90s. I love that stuff. I love when Spider-Man, Scarlet Spider came over to New Warriors. Love that stuff.
Well, those are not quite. I'm thinking crossover big crossovers, big event crossovers between books. But
I like the intercompany crossovers better because they felt special.
Top Cow and Marvel, Devil's Reign.
Yeah, the only issue
that's all stuff that came later. That's the stuff where I kind of fell off of it. Yeah.
To me, the biggest issue I have with cross-company crossovers is I have the trades for the crossover classics, and I love those trades. Well, I have no clue if we'll ever see them printed again.
Oh, not these days.
Yeah.
Oh, you know which one was really, really bad but really good? Deathmate.
Yeah.
That one was horrible because there's no you have to read it in a certain order, but you don't know until you look at the back of each issue to be all right, what one am I supposed to read next?
Yeah, yeah. A lot of those are troublesome.
But that was Valiant and Image.
And question from Mike on Twitter. Let's wrap this up.
Question for him?
Yeah, from him.
Oh.
He says, why is New 52 Batman #1 so expensive right now?
Yeah, why?
It's supply and demand.
Really?
That #1 of all of them is just...
How much is it now?
It's got to be over 100 at this point.
Really?
Yeah.
I wonder if I have it.
Well, because the variant goes for...
We sold the variant #1 less than the regular cover. Yeah. The 1 in 25 variant... I sold it for $75. I sold my last copy of Batman #1 for $100.
Wow.
Yeah, and a lot of that just kind of look at the creative team that's been going long enough now that.
Yeah, it's. Again, you can pick up any of those books, nearly any of them, super super cheap. There's a couple that are up there. Justice League maybe $10. Yeah. If you go to if you look at the Harley first print, if you look at Suicide Squad, Detective is fallen quite a bit, but it's still a $20 book. But Batman. A 9.0, which is not even that good, sold for $77.
Wow.
I don't know. I guess my thing, and I could be proved completely wrong, but I kind of feel like it's inflated right now. I think you run 5-10 years in the future, and it will be back down because the print run on that was still pretty high.
Oh, it was the number 2 book. I believe it was number 2 next to Justice League.
I'm waiting for Birds of Prey number 8 to be deflated anytime soon. Please.
Raw copy 105, a 9.6 sold for just shy of 200. I mean 9.8's probably 250, something like that.
Are we still on Batman or?
Yeah, it's Batman. Yeah, that's the book, man. It stays there. It's that's the one that clicked. So
well, I mean that's the one that's stayed consistently a big seller.
It has been the number 1 monthly book. Like other books, number 1 issues have
beaten it.
Yeah. But it always comes back up as the number 1.
That's cool.
Like non-event, non-number 1 book.
Yeah.
For like going on 4 years now. It's crazy. It's very rare.
It's like 40 issues. We're 39 issues in, and it's still top seller of the month. Seller of the month.
Yeah. If you discount Loot Crate and you discount number 1s and you discount major events, I mean, we're just monthly book. Mm-hmm. It is the number 1 book every month. So
Orphan Black.
Yeah. Won't be for number 2 unless they do another Loot Crate. All right. Well, we are an hour into this podcast, but I did officially get word from Bryce that he will not be here. So we're hoping he'll be on here next week because apparently he has a quiz for us.
So do we have to renumber? Do we have to renumber this episode? Is it going to be 202?
This will be 202, and
then we'll do 201 later. We'll be Marvel.
It'll be 201 dot. Like what is it?
Yeah, 201.1.
Yeah. And then forever stay that way until we hit 500 and then actually jump to 500. So we're going to be 498.
No, we'll have to renumber.
498 and then we go to 500. Oh no, 497. 497.
Yeah.
We'll have to renumber, and then like once we hit issue like 36 or 40, then we have to go back to the original numbering.
Yeah.
And then
we didn't talk about this, but Toby, I did see your post here about Jason Momoa signing the Aquaman poster. This is fuck Marvel.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm thinking he tried out for a Namor role.
I thought that was funny.
No, I think it's just funny. I think it's just him having fun.
Yeah. It's funny stuff. If you haven't seen that, go look online. There's a picture of it, so pretty good. All right, we got to thank a few people from Patreon here.
Hello.
Ryan Hess and his Region Free Gaming podcast at RFG Podcast at WordPress.com. Go check them out. Albert Soy, Mike Campbell, thank you guys for all your support, and Julian Titus with the Nerds Without Pants podcast.
Nerds Without Pants.
At pixelbit.com, pixelbit.com. Keep it pantsless. You know it. I'm always keeping it pantsless. They should sell no pants. It's like a no prize.
They're called no pants, though.
They sell the invisible pants that you can only see.
There you go. All right, guys. We're going to go and wrap up. Thank you, everyone, for being on this episode. Thank you, Bryce. Hopefully, thank you for not showing up.
For giving us so much anticipation.
Yeah. Next week, Bryce, hopefully you can be around and we'll do our cable quiz. If not, send it in.
We'll do it anyways.
Yeah, we'll do it anyway. I'll have Cable Master Charlie can run it, and the three of us can run around and be like, what?
And congrats to Bryce if his magic thing happens.
Yeah, we'll see. All right, don't forget, this episode and all our previous episodes are available at geekbox.net. Forums at geekbox.net, and the Geekbox Facebook group is where you can go to read about or to talk about these episodes. And I guess you can read about them there, too. Digital.comicsconspiracy.biz. Go there and buy some comics. There's always good sales. Check them out Friday through Sunday, especially for their big sales. I think they do a Monday Marvel sale normally, too. A lot of 99-cent issues. Very cheap.
Is it Monday and Fridays?
Is it Monday?
If I recall, they have like a one-day sale on Mondays and a one-day sale on Friday.
They might. Friday's usually when the weekend sale stuff starts. But don't forget you can subscribe to books there as well so that you don't have to keep going back to the site to get new issues. Patreon.com/comic conspiracy. Go there and give us some money for recording these episodes. Got some cool little backer prizes and actually give these guys some money for doing this. Yay, for money. Covers things like hosting fees and dinner beforehand, which we usually do, not always, but things like that. It helps. Thank you guys. ConspiratorBrock.com. Go check out his site. That's where Brock has his list videos and everything.
Well, I put that there, but you can go to my YouTube channel.
All
I think it's youtube.com/ashes279.
Right.
I don't know. I don't remember it.
It's on there.
You don't know your own YouTube channel name?
It's on there. Go find it.
I'm on there.
Comicsenterkind.com. That's Omar's blog. Go read that.
I guess there's an iZombie sale going on this week.
Oh, perfect. Go catch up and read the comic that has nothing to do with the TV show.
And is it this weekend or next weekend where we're losing you, Charlie, to go to a special place?
Oh, that's a couple weekends, right? You're going to Emerald City?
Going to the green.
Yeah.
Isn't it soon?
Wait, you're going to be back on
It's
Tuesday?
super soon.
Yeah, it's super soon. Is it this weekend or next weekend? Next weekend? So we got one more Monday with you?
Well, won't you be back on Tuesday?
I think it's not this weekend, but next weekend, I think.
Yeah.
Answer is yes, but I don't remember what time on Tuesday because I'm flying back on Tuesday.
Oh, okay. Well, if you can make it, we're here.
Well,
we need Charlie to report back.
Are we doing a book club?
Maybe we'll have to push that back if Charlie's not going to be here.
Because Bryce isn't even.
Yeah. We'll figure out what's up with the book club when you get that, which is
Authority Volume
1. Yeah, so go read that. But you can listen
to
the
print.
You can listen to Charlie at Infinite Long Box Podcast and The Wanderers of Fourth Dimension. Go listen to those. I'm on Twitter, Ryan Higgins Ryan, Brock's Brock Sager, Omar's Comics and Kind, Bryce is Larson, Bryce, Toby is Toby XI, and Charlie's Insanity and Chaos. Don't forget to listen to the Geekbox Comedy Button, Good Job Brain, and the All Talk Podcast. Go do that. That's all we got. That's it. We're out.
You sure?
Yep.